A legend, 1,000 years in the making, is about to unfold. Gargoyles. Series premiere next.
Early in the 90s, Batman the Animated Series found success by telling gritty stories with a dark hero aimed at kids. The popularity and quality of the show were legendary, so much so that it caught Disney's covetous eyes and sought to try to capture that magic in its own bottle. The problem is that Disney never had any property of its own that lent itself to be gritty fun for boys. Until Gargoyles, that is.
Time has come. Now, with the only human they can call a friend, they are about to take wing. In an epic battle against evil. Watch for all new episodes of Gargoyles every Friday starting next week right here on this station.
Gargoyles was a stark contrast to anything produced by Disney at the time. It bore a striking resemblance to Batman, the Animated Series, and had similar writing quality. Probably because Disney executives headhunted Michael Reeves for one of its main writers. Naturally, like all cool grimdark entertainment for boys, it got a game adaptation on the Sega Genesis. Sega! Decades later, Gargoyles has faded into memory. The show is still fondly remembered, but most people don't remember it had a game. Why would they? It came out in 1995, which was very late in the console's life cycle. Like its protagonist who was sealed in stone for ages, the game has returned. But was the game worth reviving? Well, sit back and relax, because you're about to get a definitive deep dive into the Gargoyles Remastered review. In 1994, Capcom released Demon's Crest, an action platformer where gamers assume the role of a monstrous gargoyle-like demon. It's since become a highly valued collector's item in the secondhand market, often reaching the 200 range because of its solid gameplay and beautifully gothic and macabre pixel art. This was a great and polished game that still feels great to play. As Red Arimer Firebrand, players could scale walls and spit fireballs and smash stones, fly, swim, and even cast magic spells. It truly felt like you were playing as some kind of sacrilegious monster. To this day, you couldn't do better if you wanted to play an action platformer as a winged abomination. Then, there was Disney's Gargoyles on Sega Genesis in 1995. Full disclosure, I was never a fan of the show, but have secondhand knowledge of some aspects of the story. The premise is Goliath is a big magical monster man with wings, and his clan of gargoyles from the medieval ages have to adapt to living in a place more vile. Modern-day New York City. That is about as much of the show that is represented in Gargoyles Remastered. All of Goliath's gargoyle brethren are nowhere to be seen and aren't mentioned. The only character from the show that is present is Demona, Goliath's ex, who has the likability of a Karen. The story in Gargoyles Remastered is totally irrelevant. The real reason why anyone would play this is because they lost a bet. The gameplay, mutilated though it may be, is utterly simple and bare bones. Goliath can sluggishly hop, double jump, climb surfaces very awkwardly, and spam the limpest thrashings that never feel like they connect. His wings are purely for show, and never gets to use them to fly. Controls are laggy and prioritize animation, which is admittedly very good looking if you're playing with classic 16-bit graphics. The new HD redrawn art looks cheap, and the characters don't feel like they're grounded in the environment. The original visuals look much better and have a dark grittiness that is enhanced by the pixel art. Goliath also looks cooler gray than when he's purple. The high contrast of black shadows and moody color palette make the old graphics very readable and hold up. There are also instances of pre-rendered sprites that look cool. Sadly, these are replaced with the inferior art in the HD version. Nothing was done to the Gargoyles Remastered game to make it enjoyable. The fact is, this was a shoddy game for its time, just another Disney tie-in product to dupe kids.
In 994 AD, the Gargoyles' castle was destroyed. 1,000 years later, they've landed somewhere new, at Burger King. Now your kids can get a kids' club meal with a tasty flame-broiled hamburger, fries, and a drink, plus one of 5 incredible Gargoyles action toys from the Gargoyles TV series. They can battle the forces of darkness with the Spin Attack Broadway or the Sparkling Spinner, all for a rock-bottom $1.99. Now at Burger King, you'll find great value and some very interesting characters. That's getting your burgers.
The hit detection is nonsensical, and the feedback to attacking foes or getting hit is extremely vague. Most encounters become an incoherent gauntlet of spamming attacks and stun-locking the enemy. If you're lucky, something interesting might happen, like a game-ending bug. One glitch was a boss's life bar got totally depleted, and instead of dying and letting Goliath onto the next stage, the boss persisted infinitely. Even if Goliath throws the fight to retry, the boss life bar was permanently empty and the battle continued until I either quit or lost all my lives, having an ultimate showdown. The playability of this turkey feels like running with a ball and chain on each leg while on crutches. There are some heinous sequences that made more fair with the help of the added rewind button, but even then, it still isn't a guarantee. When you're at a point of relying on a rewind feature to equalize the game design, then it's admission to failure of the core game. Gargoyles Remastered not only is one of the weaker 16-bit Disney games, but it's also grossly overpriced. This package is bare bones and has no extras in it at all. There should have at least been a few episodes of the show included. Instead of wasting resources on new graphics, there should have been efforts to make this into a compilation of several Sega Genesis Disney games. Titles like Maui Mallard and Cold Shadow, Toy Story, Quackshot, or even Pocahontas would have justified its price tag. Gargoyles Remastered is not recommended for retro enthusiasts, or for fans of the cartoon show. There is nothing here to appreciate except the original 16-bit pixel art and animation. Just go play Demon's Crest instead.
What a shame it would be if you didn't like and subscribe. Maybe if you shared this video, Command might let me review more cool and interesting games.